Okay, it is 8 o'clock on the dot, so I want to get started. Thank you for being here this evening. I'm happy to introduce our speaker tonight, Ken Hubley, as he presents the Untold Story. Ken is our District 45 manager and a member of the Schooner Toastmasters, where he is the Vice President of Education. He loves spending time with his family and also is a children's book author. Tonight, Ken's going to explain some features of the easySpeak platform and show you how it can help you and your club be successful. Please help me welcome Ken as he presents the Untold Story.
Thank you, Madam Program Quality Director. Fellow Toastmasters, who here has experience, either currently or in the past, of being a VP of Education? And if you have, I bet this will sound familiar to you. You're getting ready for a meeting, and there's some key people in roles that are either not there yet or you're not sure if they're going to be there. Wouldn't it be great if we had a tool that could help us with the communication and the scheduling? Well, we do. It's called easySpeak. And I had a little fun with my title tonight. I called it The Untold Story. The reason I called it that is when I first started out with easySpeak, I didn't know a lot about it. And my first impression was I was a bit overwhelmed. I didn't hear a lot of speeches or a lot of information about easySpeak. So I think it's one of the best kept secrets. I'm going to give you a few stats on easySpeak from the website. Nearly 3,000 clubs. They help support nearly 3,000 clubs with communication and scheduling needs, and they've been in existence for over 16 years. They're mainly worked by volunteers, and it's a free service to Toastmasters clubs. So I'm going to share a little bit about my journey with easySpeak. When I first started, I was so excited to be a Toastmaster. I became a Toastmaster. It was my COVID project in March of 2020. And I was really excited to get to learn to speak and all the roles and everything. And then I had to put everything into this easySpeak. And when I looked at it, wow, there was columns everywhere, drop-down menus, lots, it seemed like words everywhere when I was reading it. Plus my password. Every time I tried to sign in my password, do you think I could get signed in cleanly twice? No, never. So that was my frustration with it. But I learned to love it. Is my second year, I started to learn more about it through my mentor and through some experienced members in the club. They'd show me things on easySpeak, and I saw, wow, there's a vast amount of information that I need in this tool. And this is a really helpful tool. So that's my first point about easySpeak that I think is important to bring back to your clubs. Is education is a key part of it, especially for newer members. Newer members have a lot to look at, a lot. It's almost like driving. We all drive, or most of us drive, and if you do drive, you're probably very familiar with dealing with a lot of things at the time. You may have a car coming in one direction, and you have a pedestrian on the side of the road, things to keep an eye out for. But for new drivers, that's very overwhelming when they see a lot of things happening at once. I would compare that to easySpeak when people start to join Toastmasters. So the best way to, in my viewpoint, to help newer people with easySpeak is to work through our mentoring program. We have a great program in Toastmasters of mentoring. So talk to your mentors. For example, some of the initiatives I've taken in my club is I did a session on easySpeak and to show everyone. And I'm calling a mentoring meeting on Tuesday night, and we're going to have regular mentoring meetings to discuss important topics, and that's one of them. There's some key fundamentals that I think is important when you're looking at easySpeak. One is consistency. Make sure that if you ask members to use it, that you're asking them to use it all the time, and that you're using it consistently. So if somebody cancels the cancels their that they can't accept a task, then please make sure that you assign someone else right away. I've already talked about the education piece, and take the time to learn it. And that's not just for the VPE of education, but that's also for all of the members and for yourself. It takes time to learn easySpeak. It takes time, even though I'll show you some things here today, and I hope some of them are new to you. You still need to take the time to go in and just find it yourself. And over the last month, even though I had a familiarity with it, by preparing for this talk tonight, I learned a lot over that time. And if you need help, there's a ton of resources. There's a Facebook page just for easySpeak. There are videos, there's discussion groups. There's a lot of things within easySpeak that we're going to cover that is there to help you, plus experienced members in your group. So I'm going to move now into easySpeak. I'm going to share my screen. And an interesting anecdote is I was trying to prepare for this talk. I was having problems with sharing my screen. One thing I learned, and maybe not everyone's computer is the same way, when I try to share my screen in Zoom, I'm fine if I'm sharing a window. If I'm sharing a Chrome tab, the share tab audio checks itself automatically, and I have to go back and uncheck it, because if I don't, it will mute my mic. So I'm just going to share my screen here. There we go. You should now be able to hear me, and you should see Schooner Toastmaster easySpeak screen up. Albert, can you hear me and see the screen?
All good, Ken.
Okay, thank you. So I've asked Albert, because I can't see if there's any hands, to let me know if there's anything in the chat or any questions around easySpeak. Anybody with their hands up. So I want to use the chat a little bit around experience. How much experience would you say that you have using easySpeak? And you can send it to me individually, or you can put it for public. Would you say somewhat, a lot, or comfortable, or not comfortable?
We have a fair number. We have some zeros. And
Zeros?
I mean, zero experience.
Okay, no, that sounds great. And so that helps me guide where I want to go over with my notes. So this is the main meeting screen in easySpeak. The first thing I'm going to show you, and this is really important if you're coaching a newer member, is under profile. One of the first things I would suggest someone does is check to make sure their profile is accurate. Because there's my username, there's my email. I get a lot of emails as VPE when people reject roles or accept roles, or if they request speeches. So if my email's wrong, then I don't get those. It's going to really hurt the productivity of having easySpeak. The other piece I mentioned about my passwords before, maybe I'm just not great at passwords. That's probably pretty accurate. But here's where you can change your password to something that's still secure, but something that's going to be easier to remember. The other piece under profile is there's two views. You can go in as a club member view, and it changes your screens. And sometimes it's subtle, but it's important. Or you can go in as an officer view. If I'm working as VPE, I want to be in the officer view because there's certain tools that I need. If I'm coaching a newer member, then I want to be able to see what they see. So I'll go into the club member view. And of course, the logout is there as well. If you have people who want to use any different languages, they can definitely do that. And I'm going to walk right through this screen. So feel free if you have experiences you want to share, or if you have questions, please just raise your hand. Albert will tell me if there's a question.
Ken, there is sort of a question. Somebody
Yes.
puts in the chat that they're not able to sign in anymore. How can you get your password reset? Is there an easy way to find your username and get your password reset if you've forgotten it?
Yes, there is. There's a couple ways you can do that. Number one, when you go to sign in, there is a forget password um, button at the bottom, right underneath the sign in.
Okay.
And if they want to stay on at the end of the call, I don't mind helping them do that if they want assistance with it, or they can reach out to me and I'm happy to help. But it is a regular forget password. And there's also a lot of resources you can actually write to easySpeak, because what I did was lock myself out because I actually didn't reset it enough times. And then you can go over and there's this spot, contact us, and you can, oh, sorry, that's not the right one. You can, I'll show under the help options where you can actually support easySpeak or contact easySpeak right here. And you press that, send them an email, and they'll help you reset if you suspend yourself. So I hope that answers that question. Thank you, Albert. Are there any other questions? And thank you to the person who posted the question. Okay, I'm not hearing any other questions, so we'll move on. But I think that's a great place to take us to the help options. I've talked about it before. There's a couple places here. easySpeak training. And recently I signed up for their Facebook group, and that has information to be shared, and you can share experiences on the easySpeak Toastmaster community. If you ask to join, then they'll ask you, are you a Toastmaster, and do you use easySpeak in your club, so they know why you're asking to join. And so that's a very easy process, and I found very quick that they allowed me to join. There's also under the training, there's also videos and webinars and other training materials you can use to familiarize yourself with easySpeak. I've watched them, they're good. Under the help, there's knowledge map, which talks about what's under each of the categories. It's somewhat helpful. I hadn't used it a whole lot. There's a search function. Again, the videos. Did I hear somebody ask a question? Okay. So there's a lot of help and assistance is what I wanted to share with easySpeak if you need assistance. So this is, you're welcome here, and the links, I'm part of Schooner Toastmasters, so if I wanted to add a second club, I could. And then the Schooner, this is asking for support for easySpeak because it is run by volunteers. Either the district or the club could offer support for it. My participation, this is important. Now again, when I look at these screens, I want to double check to make sure whose view I'm under. We're under member view now, so that's good, because this will change with member, and so I can sign up for meetings. I can request the speech. Now, what I do in my club, I find this easier, but you can do what works for you, is we will schedule, I'll do a schedule 3 months out for all the roles. And I have a spreadsheet to help see who hasn't had a role in a while. And when I do that, that helps me I can send it out. People can know ahead of time and they can join in, and I'll create the meetings with the roles in there. What you have to be careful of is if you don't assign the roles, people can request roles, and it makes it a little more difficult because it could affect more than one person. If you had somebody else plan for that role, then you have to make multiple changes. And they can sign up for roles, or you can assign roles to them. And I assign roles to people. So then it's a matter of them doing a check mark, which I'll show you later on. View my speech progress. This will tell you how you've done with your speeches and where you are in your path. And some of the check marks are the speeches you've completed. And all online meetings is all Toastmaster meetings that they have on here. So that's not where you would go necessarily for your club meeting. If I wanted information meeting on the last meeting we had, I could view the meeting there. One thing that's important is to work with your secretary, because once the meeting is completed, you need to update if you've made changes to the roster, and the secretary needs to update the minutes right on easySpeak, so then they can close the meeting for you. Because if you keep meetings open as live meetings, then you need to do that. So if you look at this screen, this is the last meeting that we had. And we had our officers and our speeches and what have you. I'm going to do a future meeting for you to make it easier to show what we're going to do. And then there's stats and pathways charts for members you can look up to see what they've done. And then depending on how into easySpeak your club is, you have options of having discussion forums. If everyone's email is correct, if you're in here, you can send a message directly to the president, treasurer, or mentor. So again, it depends on how organized you have this. Let's say, for example, I did a blog recently on the organization with the different within the district divisions in our area. Let's say, for example, you're not sure what your division or area is. Well, right here, it gives the organizational. I'm part of Schooner Toastmasters. I'm in Area 1. I'm Division D in District 45. That might be useful to a newer member. And if you need help with site navigation, they also have that over here. So need to ask a question. This brings you to a discussion forum. So as I said earlier, there is a lot of help when using this. One of the things I want to highlight and I want to spend time on is structuring a meeting. So when we go in, and please feel free to put in the chat things you'd like to know about easySpeak, because I know what my list contains, and if it's something I will get to, I'll get to it. But if there's a unique question that I'd like to know, so I'm able to address it for you. But I'm going under meetings. Couple things. Here's something that's really, really helpful to all members is subscribe to web calendar. I'm going to do that before I do the meetings. And these are all the devices that you can do a subscription for. And for example, I have an iPhone. Every Tuesday night at 20 to 7, I get a notification of my Schooner meeting through easySpeak because I'm signed up for this option. I'm VPE, so I'm pretty sure I wouldn't forget a meeting
Ken,
on Tuesday night. Yep.
Can I ask where somebody's asking where would minutes be saved here? And I'm assuming that's meeting minutes.
Yes, and that would be under meetings. That would be under the officer role. I will show you. Is it okay if I circle back to that? I'm going to make a note of it.
Sure. Yep.
Minutes. That's a great question. So I'm going to talk about scheduling the meeting first. And then this is my meeting list. I would go over here to create a meet. Oh, I'm going to go into officer view anyways. So I'm going to come over here, and I had already created these meetings. If I needed to create a meeting, I would go over to the left-hand side under VPE tasks. And you can even create executive meetings or special meetings here. What was my meeting list? Okay, I will get back to, I saw it just a little bit ago, but it's on the side here that oh wait, I know where it is. So we're going to create meeting right here. And then on the side is you can create a special meeting, which is like an executive meeting. I'll show you that in a bit. But this is how you would create the meeting. You'd have to put in the Zoom link in the top part and set the date and all that information. Here's where the Zoom link goes. It's in 2 different parts. And then if you have a theme, if you put the word of the day prior to, then you put the word of the day in here. So this is the main menu. This is the main screen that I work on. If for members, you know, it's a green thumb, I will be attending this meeting, or a red thumb, I will not be attending this meeting. If they check the red thumb, you will not be able to schedule them for anything. They will show as unavailable, which is a useful tool. So what I do is I have a spreadsheet so I can mix up the roles, but what I really like is that you can put names in, you can take them out. I'm just going to take someone out and I'll put them back after the meeting. Because when you try to assign a role, it tells you the number of days since each member has done it. For some reason that it's not allowing me to take this out, probably because I'm sharing my screen. So if I was to take them out and do a check mark, I would have all the officers' names, and it would tell me 33 days since the last time they did it, 60 days since the last time they did it, 90 days since the last time they did it, which is really useful because if I wanted to have someone, I take the person who is going to be at the longest part. And after you assign somebody a role, I would do 2 at the most and come up here and hit save. Because if you don't hit save, then it times out very quickly. So I only do about 2 or 3 max at a time, because otherwise it may sign out. If you want to know who's going to attend, it's over here. So right now on this meeting, no one has said that they're not going to attend, which means everyone's available to assign a role to. And what's nice about this, when you saw the meeting list, because I made meetings ahead of time, let's say in 3 weeks, somebody can't make it, they can go to the meeting list, click meeting list and hit that meeting. And then today tell me that they're not going to be available 3 weeks down the road. And then they won't be available to be assigned at that meeting. So that's really helpful. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything in the chat, Albert, about things that they'd like to go over? Or if not, I'll just continue on the same stream that I'm going.
Does this tie into Toastmasters International Base Camp or the DCP or anything like that?
There is there are some of the areas that does take you to the TI website, but it's very specific as to what. It's different than Basecamp, but there are, like, for example, if you wanted to look at club statistics, there is a place in here where you could look at club statistics. I'm going to have to stop sharing for a moment because my screen timed out, which is not normal for this to do. But I knew I was having problems when it wouldn't allow me to stop that. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a second and then go back and re-sign in. So I will cover those links. So I'm going to re-share again. So to answer your question, go to TI information, district stats will bring you to some of the TI websites and some of the information that's available on the TI websites and some of the dashboards and what have you. that will, that's really the main link to TIA. It doesn't necessarily take you into Basecamp. You can, if you can visit neighboring clubs. This is a feature I like, the word of the day. It gives you word of the day every single day. It's a good place for members. If you want to get members to start using easySpeak, it's just another little tool that can help them. If they can't think of a word of the day, they can go in here and they can go previous word until they find one that they like. So that's a helpful little option I found as well. So I'm going to go back to the meeting list in creating the meeting, because that's the assigning roles. That's the most important part. And again, you can, it's up to you. You can have people sign up for roles and you approve, or you can have them, or you can assign them roles and they approve or not approve. What I found with easySpeak is, even with the education, you need to be patient. It's not an overnight, that if you say, if you give education on easySpeak, you might have 2 people that was using it prior. Now you're up to 5, then you're up to 8, then you're up to 10. It's going to be incremental to get the buy-in on it, just because it's new to people. But by using your mentors, by talking about it often, I have a fun fact. I'm going to put it around easySpeak to encourage members to use it. And again, I was talking to my protege tonight. She said she couldn't make it. I said, that's on Tuesday night. I said, thank you. Can you please put it into easySpeak? The more we encourage it, the more we're consistent with using it, and the more that we encourage our members to use it, the better it will be. You can create an agenda right from here. I don't like the look of it as much, so I do my own Word agenda on Word, but you could do that. You can email officers, providing their information is updated correctly. So, and then in the speeches, there's a spot for them to enter which project they're working on, and what, a little bit of an introduction on the speech. So that's helpful as well. So does anybody have anything specific on creating the meeting? And I'm going to get back to the minutes in a second.
There's nothing in chat, Ken.
Nothing in chat? Okay, thank you. I'm just taking a look here under the, it's usually the secretary that comes in, so I will send out information about where the minutes go in. It's one thing I meant to check, but it's, and this is where you create meetings, and there's different types of meetings you can create. You can create supplementary meetings, which are more like executive and other types of meetings. So, or you can have regular team meetings and the dates and what have you. So normally after I'm done my role, the secretary comes in and they will, oh, here it is right here, Toastmaster meeting or committee meeting. Committee meeting would be like executive or what have you. And then when the minutes come in, I will find that out and send it to you. So the next part that I would like to go over is the I'm just checking my time to make sure I'm on schedule with what I want to show. I've showed everything I wanted to in here. My participation, signing up for meetings, viewing my speech progress. Again, that's really important. Outstanding Toastmaster. I found this interesting because this gives you a lot of information about yourself, especially if you're in the, the percentage of the meetings that you attended over the last year, how many times you won an award in the meeting awards, and the different types of speeches you've given and some of the offices you've held. So I think that's really important as well. And some of this information is as good as what you and the members keep up. If I wanted to schedule a speech and request the speech, I would come in here and I would put in the, wait, I'm in the officer mode. I won't be in club member mode. There's a lot of going back and forth when you're doing this. So if you want to request, you can request the speech on the side. This is telling me not authorized. So anyways, I'm going to go back. I'm going to, here we go. It's not allowing me back into club member view. It's easySpeak's acting up tonight, but over here under club member view on this side, one of these is right there, request a speech. So I could go in and request a date. Let's say you have a member that's proactive and they really know when they want to speak, then they can send that request to you. And then you can work along. A good example of that is area directors. Our area director has requested a speech for October 5th, which we're very happy to have him visit our club. So I received a speech request from him, and I replied that we'd be pleased to have him visit us and for him to give a speech. So I put him in the rotation for that night. And one thing that's really convenient for you as VPE is by having it, all the emails you get from easySpeak is from easySpeak. So it's very easy. You can just do a search by easySpeak. This person accepted, this did not, this person did not, this one did accept, this one did not. Rather than if you're away for a day or so and you want to check your emails and you might say, okay, is Joseph, I think I got an email from Joseph, so I'd have to check Joseph or Heather or Michael or whomever. So it's much easier to organize using the tools the way that it's designed to be used. So again, this is a discussion forum your club can have. It's all how active your club wants to be into it. You can have a club officers. One thing that's really important, here's a real live example, is I needed to do a mentor meeting. Well, I wanted to do a meeting with the mentors. Well, where would I find that? Because we're all online and what have you. However, with easySpeak, it's easy to find. I have to go into membership management, edit members, so I can add or delete members or what have you, move them from guest to full member. And right here is view mentors. So I can take a look at the members and when they joined and who their mentors are, and each member that's a mentor, who their mentees are. So that makes it very easy to be able to find information like that. So there's a lot of data in here. This is when they request a speech, or even if they go in, if I assign them the speech, they'll put the title, they'll have to save it. They talk about the workbook, and then they saved it in the preferred dates that they would like to. So you can do 1, 2, and 3, which makes it helpful if people do. But people seem to be pretty happy with the speeches, me scheduling them 3 to 6 months in advance. And what we show them as well is that we have so many members, and some nights we have 3, but a lot of nights we have 2. So you can just do the math. Every 6 or 8 weeks, you're going to have a speech, and they can plan from that. They can start to work ahead on that and look at their paths. So you can go visit other clubs, you can visit their meetings and what have you. This is about your own club, the directory, who the officers are. And this is good information for new members if they want to know, okay, well, there's executive, they're talking, there might be executive. What are the positions? Okay, and who's doing it? Well, maybe I want to try Sergeant at Arms, I'll contact Stephanie Day and see what she does. And for example, this is the go-to tab, the TI information, district stats again will give you information about neighboring clubs. Now, one thing with neighboring clubs is I went to another neighboring club earlier today, and I couldn't get back. It was a fair bit of work to get back, but you can go in and you can visit, or you can do a club search if you wanted to find out something about another club. Are they on easySpeak? When do they meet? And you can put in their name and what have you there and see what information easySpeak has on them. So I'm doing a project in my club on easySpeak about the appearance of our website and of our easySpeak platform and how we want it to look. This is a nice feature. This is meet the members. And this is one thing, if we educate our members about adding more to their profiles, little bios and pictures and what have you. As you can tell from my picture, it's sideways because it wasn't the right size. So I have to take a new one and put it in. But this could be a really nice screen, and a nice directory for your members if you wish to use it that way. You can put a blog if you want to. And members can have much more, this is the members page. So this is part of what I'm looking at. What do we want this to look like when our members use it? So if it's more attractive to use, then you want to go and use it more, hopefully. So contact us. I tested that the other night. That goes to our VP of membership, and it also goes to our president. So I'm going to pause for a second and ask if there's any questions on anything that I've covered so far. Is there anything you'd like me to go over to show you how to do? I know I have the minutes. I have a pin in that, and I will update the minute. I've never had to update the minutes, so it's not something I'm familiar with. But I will reach out to our secretary and I'll let people know. How could easySpeak?
Can I see a hand?
Yes.
Karen has her hand up.
Hi, Karen. Could you go ahead, please?
Hi, thanks, Ken. I'm having big issues trying to get into easySpeak. I put in my password. I put in my log, my password. Everything comes up as normal, but it says that my password is old and I can't get in. And then I forgot my password, but it doesn't send me any links. I've been at it hundreds of times now to try and get back on, and I'm president of the club, and it's really important that I can get in on
Exactly. Have you received an email?
No, nothing.
No, nothing from them. Then what I would do is I would contact easySpeak, and I've had to do this before.
And how do I know where to contact them from?
I'm just going to show you in a second here if I can get to member profile.
But I can't get into it.
Oh, right. Good
so
point.
I can't get at all of this.
Okay.
And we've got 3 people in our club have the same situation. That's my reason for being on the training tonight.
Okay, let me I'm just going to log off so I can see what you see when you're not in easySpeak to see what options they have. So you've done, I forgot my password.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing comes to my email.
Contact easySpeak right here. So I'm not logged in, and under help options, the 5th one is contact easySpeak.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, they should help you, and if not, contact me and I'll see what I can do to find an address. But when I've contacted them before, it was like a day or 2, and they were really helpful.
Okay, so I'll go into that screen I've got open and see why you're doing the rest of this. I'll listen and try and log in, try and get the thing going. Thank you, Ken.
Sounds good. Thanks. I'd love to hear. Hopefully you make out well, and if you do, I'd love to hear how you made out, or if you need any more help, I would be happy look at that as well. So I stopped sharing now. Is there anything? I'm going to look at the chat as well. Yes, this is, I'm just looking Crystal, what a great tool for the grammarian role. It is, I'm assuming you're thinking of word of the day, yes. But there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of benefits it could bring to your club. What do you guys think? Do you think that bringing back to your club, this could be helpful? I know some people use Free Toast Host and different options, and they're good options too. But for those of you that have interest in easySpeak, I have the time. I'm happy to go over more things if you would like. But how do you see this fitting into with your personal structure? And I think we really have to look at clubs individually. Do you have a lot of new members? Do you have a lot of members who have been around but just not used to easySpeak?
Ken, I'm a dual member. It's Karen again. I'm a
Hi,
dual
Karen.
member. We use easySpeak as our main platform. And
Yes.
at the other club, we use Free Toast Host.
Yes.
I find that seeing your agenda, your mapping, your selection, everything is so much more easier in easySpeak. Free Toast Host is busy, really, really busy. Your agendas come up like it's got far too much verbiage in it for you to try and figure out where you slot yourself in. So to me, easySpeak is the best one out of the two options.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the communication tools as well. But again, in order for the communications tools to work, the members have to be able to get in, number one, and that I know that's something that you're working on. And number two, their data has to be accurate. For example, their emails, because if their email is not accurate or it's not one that they actively use, then it's going to be useless. Or as VPE, if I had an old email in there, half of the benefits from using easySpeak wouldn't be there because I wouldn't get the email from easySpeak to say this person. I find it fantastic. I can be anywheres and I get an email. So and so didn't can't make it on Tuesday night and rejected the assignment. Okay, great. I know right now who's the next person in line in my thought process. Or if I'm down to two people, I can use the feature of looking at that role and saying person A did it 30 days ago, person B did it 90 days ago. Obviously, I won't go with person B if they don't have a second role.
Question.
So it will, pardon me?
Question.
Yeah.
Is Toastmasters International advocating that we use easySpeak and move away from Free Host Toast?
I am not saying that, and I don't. I do know that it's a platform we can use, and I've been asked to just to show some of the benefits of easySpeak, and I don't know if Crystal, if you would have any thoughts on that or not.
Well, I've been using Free Toast Host for several years. So I've been in and out of it several different ways and all that. And it took a while to learn how to do it. And going back against Karen's comment was that it seems to be a little bit more of a chore to use Free Toast Host. I get those mixed up. easySpeak looks like it might be something that would help better organize the club. My main issue with it is when I send out an agenda under Free Toast Host, normally our members, they just open it up and they can click on a spot and add their name, and that's really all they have to do. Because as VPE, I've already set up everything else in their profile for them. This one, it looks like if they get into the agenda sign up, they might get a bit confused with all the details that come up for them. What has been your experience with either even old members and new members about how easily they adapt to this particular source. I
Thank you,
mean, I'm
Larry.
going through the trouble now of trying to get people to use toast,
Yeah.
whatever, free toast.
Free toast. Yeah. Thank you, Larry. And Crystal indicated no guidance from TI that she's been told about at this point. And in fairness, this seminar is being offered for both platforms, Free Toast Host and for easySpeak. So around adaptability, what I find is similar to what I've seen earlier is that there's a nervousness because there's a lot of information there. But once people understand what they need to do, they need to sign in. It's basically green and red check marks. I mean, if they want to go, once they're set up, their emails in place, they want to request the speech, they can. But the way that there's two ways to run it. The way that I'm organizing it is I'm scheduling speeches. So that means when they sign in, my members sign in before Tuesday night, they see two check marks, one by their name to say, are you attending this meeting? A green thumbs up means yes, they hit that, or they hit the red thumbs down, which means no, they won't be attended. If they hit the red thumbs down, then obviously they're not taking the role. That's going to not allow me to assign them a role. The other part they have to look at is under the role that they've been assigned, and that is for them to go in and say green thumbs up, yes, I accept this role, or red thumbs down, no, I do not. So I find it a very visual. I don't know about Free Toast Host. I can't honestly compare the two, but I do find that I do find this user-friendly once there's training, but there's a little bit of work for the club up front to share this information. Like I say, you're not going to necessarily have people overnight just flock to it, but as you encourage them, and if you use your mentors, I think as it becomes a normal part of the conversation, more and more people, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing going from one person who used to use it, now we have about 5 regulars that use it in just a few weeks.
Yeah, the thing that I see is that easySpeak might be a little bit more intuitive to use than Free Toast Host, because Free Toast Host, you have to go in there, make your changes, and make sure you save it before you close it. Otherwise, it throws things away. So you have to be cognizant of how the workflow works in that particular site. So I missed the beginning of this meeting because I didn't have a passcode to get in. How do you, again, get to easySpeak? Do you get to it from the Toastmasters International website?
What I do is I Google easySpeak Toastmasters, and it brings me to the front screen where you have to be registered for it. You have a password, you have a user ID and a password. So the VPE, if you decided to go to easySpeak, the VPE would have to register everyone into it. Everyone will be assigned a password and a user ID, and you sign in the user ID and the password. And then that brings you into the member view screens that I was in earlier.
And do you want to share your screen and show us?
Sure.
So it's not tied back to the international IDs and password?
No, you have your own separate user ID and password for it, and you have to be registered for it.
So it's just like Free Toast Host, Larry, like how we have to sign in with an email and a password for that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay. So if I went in and I go just a regular Google search, went easySpeak Toastmasters, it would bring me up to this page. And this is where I would put in my user ID and my password, and then I would log in.
So I guess what I'm getting at, there is no link from TMI's website to get to this.
No.
telling me.
My understanding, based on what I've read through easySpeak, is that it's supported by Toastmasters, because there's Toastmaster all over it, like Toastmaster Automation, but it's been around for 16 years. So I would think if it was the only platform, they would have said it by now. And basically, it's ran by volunteers for the most part to help clubs schedule their meetings
So
and
it's another,
have a communication tool. It's
so
another
it's another open source project, is what you're telling me.
yes, yeah. I say it's very similar to Free Toast Host, although I don't know what Free Toast Host is. Like, I know what it is, but I don't have experience using it.
Free Toast Host is an open source project also.
Yeah. So very similar.
Your speaker that canceled out is our treasurer for Keen Toastmasters. So I'm on tonight because I was wanting to see his presentation. So I was unaware that he wouldn't be available tonight. But anyway. All right, I'm going to have to go through it because I remember the amount of time I spent on Free Toast Host learning its ins and outs. And this one looks like, okay, do you know if there are any kind of tutorials that go with this thing? Or
there's a lot of tutorials, there's a lot of videos, and if there's support, if there's discussion boards that you can use. And if you want, I can go back into to show you them, but under help, there's a lot of different information. And in the top left corner, maybe I will.
Okay, then I used to be a member of District 53. They did the same thing. They went off onto another website. And what happened is they went back to Free Toast Host, because what happened is that the supporters of the other website kind of went away and they were left with nothing. So
I've used these supporters.
My thing with Free Toast Host is I believe that product will always be with the Toastmasters International group, because
That's correct.
they
It's the
sanction
original.
so much. What's that?
That's correct. It's the original one that was created by Toastmasters International. easySpeak was created by a member, so you could set up and track everyone's progress in speaking, in roles that they took on. It gave them a point system through everything, where Free Toast Host, I don't think, breaks it down quite the same way.
Right. My fear is the fact that, okay, if you start using easySpeak, it's going to happen the same thing, is that the person who is doing this easySpeak website either dies or goes away, or there's nobody that knows how to use it or take care of it. The argument I make is that Free Toast Host has been around for quite a while. There are hundreds of people in the Toastmasters organization that know how to make it work. And I just throw up a caution flag for trying to implement easySpeak in a club. And again, I'm talking because I haven't gone into easySpeak and looked at all its nuances. But again, unless Toastmasters actually physically sanctions it, I would be very leery about using it primarily for the club. I mean, there are a lot of tie-ins to Toastmasters International with Free Toast Host. I mean, all the pathways and all that. I mean, the only thing they're doing a bad job is tying it in with a DCP. So I've been here 22 years plus, and I've seen a lot of things happen. And I keep seeing everybody end up going back to Free Toast Host, no matter what their excursions off into other worlds are. So that's my soapbox pitch. Sorry.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's good to have experiences and see things that we've seen along the way. The only thing I can tell you is the stats that I've researched is that right now easySpeak supports 3,000 clubs. I
Okay.
have used their Facebook page. I had in some of their discussion boards, and I've gone for support, and I've had help
Okay.
from them. But what will happen down the road, I have no idea. And the sanction of Toastmasters, I wouldn't think that they would be able to use the name Toastmasters without some type of approval. But again, I'm not into the legalistic part of the organization, so I really don't know.
No, you
Ken,
gotta
it
get
has to
permission to
be
use their
supported somehow.
copyright. That's all.
And it has to be supported somehow by Toastmasters International, or you would not have 3,000 clubs on it.
That
And
sounds
I'm
reasonable.
quite sure, and the district knows very well that people are using easySpeak. So I can't see the district knowing that we're using it and doing this webinar tonight, because they know that there are a lot of clubs that use it. So
Okay.
I can't see it being, yeah.
I would just like to see a statement from Toastmasters International that they sanction the use of it. Simple. One sentence. We
Well, I guess,
sanction
Crystal, you on the District 45 executive, you could take that up through the chains and see why they don't or why they do, or are they going to? I guess.
and if
that
they're
would
going
be
to
the
stay
thing.
behind it. So,
Yeah,
Yep, I can definitely do that.
I mean, they
Thanks,
did do
Crystal.
that with Free Toast Host. They did make that statement that they were going to always support that. So I have to.
Okay.
Well, that was because it was originally created by Toastmasters International. So that would be the reasoning behind that.
Yeah. And I have no doubt that TMI has looked at this and seen it. I just need to know whether or not they're going to sanction it, and if the original author goes away, whether the open source team continues to function with it and make it quote unquote better. So, especially if they can tie it all in with pathways.
Thank you.
I'm not.
I appreciate. Yeah, no, I appreciate. I was saying before this meeting, my favorite part of Toastmasters is that we're able to talk and hear about experiences that have happened in different clubs and over the years, and people are so generous to share. So I really appreciate you both you and Karen sharing your perspectives on this. Again, I don't want to speak of anything that I can't say concretely. What I've said so far in the presentation has been all researched, and I don't want to make an innocent misstatement.
Okay.
Karen, you had your hand up earlier, and thank you, Karen. You put in easyspeak.org. That's probably the more proper way to get there.
Actually a dash in there. It's easy-speak.org. I left out the dash, so it's real easy to find. And
yeah, I do find it easy to find. Did you have a question as well, or a comment, Karen? I noticed.
I just wanted to let you know that I managed to get the change in the login. So
excellent, great news.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And yeah, when I first started, I wasn't a fan of easySpeak. Now I love it, and as you know more about it, I think the key part for clubs for using it is to educate their members.
So Ken, you say it's an acclamation that has to go through in order to get this, in the club.
Pardon me?
You have to go through some form of acclamation in order to get this into the club culture. That's what you're telling me.
Well, yeah, I would suggest training using the mentors and what have you, and really encouraging it at the club level if you want to use it, because it's, a lot of people, think similarly to the question you asked. Okay, we have pathways, we have easySpeak, and how do they interact and whatever. If the VPE consistently uses easySpeak, if there's education from the VPE and club executive as well as the mentors talking to the members, it's going to make it much easier. It'll just become normal culture within the club.
A lot of clubs have educational moments. Educational moment in their agenda. And that's the perfect spot to have a quick little go in and show a portion of easySpeak. And that's what we do at Sears Halifax, is that we use that educational moment to try and train people on things they're a little nervous of. And it just really helps a whole lot for the club members. It doesn't have to come from a mentor.
Right. Is there that I guess that's what I'm trying to find out, is if there are little tutorials broken down into 5 to 7 minute segments that we can present at the club without us having to invent.
There are tutorials and videos on the easySpeak site. And one thing, and one thing that is, these make great projects as well. Education is one great idea, educational moment. But if somebody wants to do a project, I've done a question and answer project recently on pathways. And when I did the easySpeak, I did it as a research project and presented it to the club and really got a lot of positive feedback that people found it easier because it was a shorter one, but I went through easySpeak more quickly and answered some of the questions. There were login questions similar to this and what have you. So there's always one thing I love about Pathways is that it's very adaptable for what you're doing in the moment. Whether it's something like this, you're educating members on a platform, or you're doing something volunteer in the community, or it's something you're doing at work.
Yeah, even as a Pathways ambassador, it was kind of interesting to see how well the ideas were taken up by everybody. You get opinions from all over the place. So it's like, okay. So Pathways has arrived and we can forget about all legacy stuff at this point. So I'm assuming that easySpeak might take the same trajectory. So.
Okay, so that concludes the information I wanted to share tonight. Does anyone have questions before we pass it on back to the program quality director?
To answer Larry's question, on easySpeak, it also connects into Pathways. So when you want to go in and do a speech and it asks you what your title is, what your path is that you're working in, everything still drops down the same way it would in Free Toast Toast. There isn't any difference whatsoever. You just have to go in and find your own path, put in your proposed dates, because it always asks you for 3 dates in case the roster gets full. And basically you put it in, there's a drop down menu for you to select your path and select which speech it is that you're working on.
So it sounds to me like it's a little bit more flexible for the members to use, saying, well, I don't want to do my speech next week as you told me to, but I would like to put it in for XYZ date, and I can add it ahead of time, and then the VPE can,
Normally the VPE will map out 4 meetings at our club, so that there's always 4 meetings up. And so you can book yourself over an entire month.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
And just out of interest, because I know we had done that approach at one time, and we found that a lot of people weren't going in to book themselves, and there was a lot of scheduling you had to do. Do you guys find that you have good luck with that approach, with people going in and using it to book themselves?
Yes, definitely.
We normally send out the Free Toast Host agenda 3 to 4 days ahead of time and ask people to pick a spot for the next coming meeting. We don't do that for advanced meetings, and we only do it for the first one that's coming up. But I could see some benefit to, gee, I'm not quite ready, but I would like to do it, and I'll sign up for 3 weeks from now or something. And that could help. I just see a lot of homework time going into easySpeak and going through all the options and see what the hell it really does.
Well, technically, no matter whether you're using Free Toast Toast or whether you're using easySpeak, you got training. You got to go in and play. Otherwise, you're not going to learn. And I think the VP of Ed in our club is fabulous for taking little excerpts out of easySpeak so that they'll show that in that 1 minute time frame, so that's a quick little blurb. It's easy to show the club members, and then they go, oh wow, light bulbs on. It's great.
I think you start right from the beginning and say, this is how you sign on to it. And this is the first screen you get.
Yeah, exactly.
I did want to mention that I found the easySpeak Toastmasters group in Facebook. I put the URL in chat. I asked to join, and within a couple of seconds, I was admitted.
Very quick.
Yes.
I had the same experience, Albert, when I joined.
It was very easySpeak-like. You know, to quote Linda Ronstadt, it's so easy.
I have no more questions.
Oh, thank you. Again, thank you everyone for sharing your questions and your experience and in the expertise that you bring through your experience in Toastmasters. That's one of my favorite parts of Toastmasters, as I said, the generosity of sharing of knowledge.
Thank you, Ken, for doing the presentation and providing us with all this knowledge. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Larry.
I'm going to stop the recording now, folks.